Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the Feng Shui Society webinar. And this evening on Tuesday, the 8th of November, we have a very, very special guest, and that is Master Alan Stirling, who is a pioneer in the Feng Shui world. And he is also somebody who started his Feng Shui journey over 35 years ago. So that's a very, very long time. So first of all, I want to make sure that you can see me, because on my screen, I don't appear to be talking. Anyway, so Master Alan Stirling is not only a Feng Shui teacher, he is also a natural healer, a Reiki master, and really he uses his own background and knowledge in science, mysticism, the use of Chinese culture and language to demystify Feng Shui in modern society so that everybody can use it and create harmony in their lives. And I think that's really key about Master Alan Stirling. And so what he's going to talk to us about this evening is how to create a nurturing environment, not only in your home, but in your business, using Chinese astrology, the 4 pillars of destiny. And so we are very excited to hear what he has to say. And so without further ado, I'm going to welcome you, Master Alan Stirling, to take the platform.
Nice to see you. Some new faces, some old faces. It's good to be here. It's been about 20 years since I last did a talk for the Feng Shui Society, and that was back in Baker Street at Rudolf Steiner House. So it's great to be back. I hope it's not going to be another 20 years until we have a revisit. So let's get on. We've got quite a lot to cover tonight, and I hope you're going to be able to follow me at home. If you've gotten a chart from the link in the chat box, you should be able to download your own chart, and you'll be able to follow me with what we're doing on the screen. So let's get underway. This is an example of a Bar-Zur chart, commonly known as a 4-pillar chart. It was originally known as a Ziping chart when we only had 1 pillar to work with. I say we. This is back in something like 975 AD. You assume you all know the 5 elements. Everyone okay with the 5 elements? Anyone not understand the 5 elements? Okay, I'm going to take it that you do. So what we're looking for is the top line here in any 4-pillar chart is known as heavenly stems. And this represents not so much astrology, it represents more electricity. It represents light coming from stars. The bottom part, this row here, are the earthly branches, and this represents the magnetism. So when the light comes to the earth receives it and then gives it back. And then we're formed in between this. So this is actually an electromagnetic chart more than an astrology chart. And what we're looking for is when we do a professional consultation, we're looking for the missing element, if there is one. Unless you've got a perfect life, you probably have a missing element. And you'll find that your life is greatly enhanced when you have this missing element in time. And what we're going to look at tonight is to review perhaps some of your charts and find out what your best element is, and then when you're going to find it. And if it's too long away, we could do something inside your home that will activate that. So you'd have that now. You don't have to wait until it comes around in its natural course. We can use something inside your home to create your ideal environment, nurturing environment. So I've taught a lot of interior designers over the years who use this for their inspiration. This is the chemistry, the electromagnetic report of the client. So when you find out what the missing element is and you start producing a palette like that, you create an incredible atmosphere. So beginning with the year represents your ancestors and your grandparents. So it's the flow of all you are comes from here. This is what most books are written on, is the year pillar. But it's so complex, this 4 charts. You find this in Feng Shui that if the charts are easy to produce, they're hard to interpret. And if they're hard to produce, like Z-Way, for instance, they're really easy to interpret. So this one here looks very easy, and it is, but it's just incredibly complex. So each pillar, so this is the year pillar, this is the month pillar, the day pillar, and the hour pillar. And the chi flows from the year to the hour. The most important part of the chart is the day, not the year that you were born. And in most of the Chinese astrology books, they always talk about the year. So the year represents the first 15 years of your life. It's not where you are now. So what we're looking for is chi flow, coming from the year to the month, to the day, to the hour. So here, this is a good example. We've got fire in the year, and then we have a flow to wood, yin wood. Then it goes to water, and then it goes to metal. It also flows backwards from water here to wood, to fire. And then here it makes a jump. So it goes from fire to water and restarts the process again. So this is the chart of Carl Linnaeus, who gave us a taxonomy back in the 1800s. So a very smooth chart with a sort of a hiccup down here. Because we've got a Kerr cycle in here. We've got from fire to water. So what we're looking for is to balance this energy at any particular point in time. Linnaeus, this person here, is a water person. This represents his mind, and this represents his body or his emotions. So we can tell already from this chart that he would have been a very emotional person because the water supports the wood. Ideally, what we want is the body, the emotional side, to support the mind, the mental side. So we like to boost the day stem. We can also tell from the water here, we're looking for water down here because this gives us a root, and that's essential because otherwise they're not aligned properly and things happen. You get some examples where the day stem can't function on its own and has to revert to the strongest element inside the chart. That's what we call a follow type, which you may have come across before. So just to put some more emphasis on this, this is the attribute cycle. So based on the 5 elements, we start off with whatever the day stem is here. And if you've got your chart, your free chart, you've downloaded it from the Feng Shui Institute, you'll be able to follow here. And whatever your day is, that's going to be your most important element. Or that's the element that we're going to review all other elements in relation to it. And the relationship between the other elements and the day stem gives us what's called the attribute cycle. So in this instance, we can see that water is the day stem. That's the most important part of the chart. And that day stem, other water inside the chart would represent friends and assistants or competition. The output in here is wood. That's the element that water feeds. And that represents creativity, intelligence, investment. The wood leads to the next element, which would be fire. And that represents wealth. So we have fire in the year pillar. Now, the year pillar, as well as representing your ancestors and your grandparents, also represents society. So this is how you're viewed by society. And because we have a nice yin-yang balance between the day stem and the year stem, this represents well-earned wealth. So he'd be respected for the money that he's made, the wealth that he made. Down here, we also have a root, which is prosperity, dealing with the public, dealing with society. And this was the source of his claim to fame and wealth. So we then come to power. Power is the element that controls your day stem. In this chart here represents Earth. And there isn't too much of that. He is, of course, historically famous, world famous for the work that he did. That would have happened when it came in a 10-year cycle, which is what we call a luck period, which if you know anything about 4-pillar charts, you would have come across the luck pillars before. And I can explain the luck pillar to you here with this next chart that we have. So the luck pillar is something that bolts on the end of it, and it represents a 10-year cycle of life that you go through. So the year, the month, the day, and hour, you get to keep. That's yours permanently. That doesn't change. The luck pillar, 10-year luck pillar, changes every 10 years. And depending on when you're born in the month that you were born in or the start of the next month determines when the luck pillars start. And that can be anything from birth to 10 years of age when your luck pillars start. So here we can see that this particular person's luck pillar started on the 5th of October, and this would have been in 82 because she's between 31 and 40. So you all have a 10-year luck pillar and you all have a chart. The problem is reading the chart. How does it flow? We normally find, this is quite a rare chart to see, going back to Lemaire's, that it flows so freely across, out, and then back in. Most people don't have that. They have breaks. They have curse cycles in the middle of it. And that represents a major change in life, a major shift in life. And if you know this beforehand, then you can put in the missing element inside their home to make sure that the transition from one form of life to the next runs very smoothly. So here's an example we've got here. This is this bottom chart here is Beyonce. So she was born in a metal rooster year, a fire monkey month, a wood rooster day, and a metal snake hour. The year represents the roots of the chart, so that's really what made her who she is today. This represents her parents. This is herself, and this one here, the owl, represents her descendants and children, siblings. And this is not such an easy flow. This goes from metal to fire, to wood, and to metal. So there's a big clash there coming up at 45. So we also have lots of combinations that go on inside here, but this one here represents output. Yeah, if the wood goes there in the friends part, so other wood elements in the chart represent friends, and the fire would represent output. But fire in itself represents performance. So this would have been performance between the ages of 15 and 30, because don't forget that each pillar represents 15 years. So this is childhood, this is 15 to 30, 30 to 45, 45 to 60. When you get to 60, you start the cycle again. And in Chinese culture, you're not considered mature until you've gone through all the 4 pillars. So that's what they call coming of age. Instead of 21 in the West, in China, it's 60 when you've gone through the whole 4-pillar table. We can see that her luck pillar currently is the metal rat, and she's in the bracket between 31 and 40. So she's got a major change coming up because her luck pillar is going to change next year. So if we look at her chart, the wood needs to be grounded. It needs a root down here. And there isn't one. So do you remember I said to you that you need to have these heavenly stems connected to the base chart, to the earthly branches somewhere? And in Beyonce's case, there isn't one. So this means that she has an extraordinary life. And if you have a chart like this, you would have an extraordinary life. And in terms of working with Beyonce and producing her ideal environment inside her home or office, you'd have to have two different sets of cures. One for when she has an extraordinary element of life, and then one for when she gets what we call a root. So a root for her would be a tiger, which we have this year. This year is the year of the tiger, the water tiger. And next year is going to be the water rabbit. She's got quite an interesting time this year because water that we have this year is a direct clash with the yang fire. And what she needs there to balance is wood. Down here we have the tiger clashing with the monkey. This represents her parents and represents her business. So her business is going through a major clash. And it's only by major clashes we get to grow. You have the opportunity. Opportunities arise that allow you to change your life. Clashes tell you when things are about to change. So she's had a major clash in her business this year, and this is going to continue until February next year. And then next year, we're going to have a rabbit year, which is going to clash with a rooster. So what we're looking for is a way to balance. Now, because Beyonce has an extraordinary chart, we have to follow the strongest element inside the chart. And we find that from the month branch. So the month branch tells us the exact time of the year that she was born. And the monkey represents the month of August, which is autumn, where metal is strong. We use a 12-step, 12-stage program of elements. So we take each one of the five, well, is it not each one here, but Earth is always timely. We don't have to calibrate the timeliness of Earth. It's the stabilizing force. But all of the other elements are calibrated. We have this webinar tonight, which is the start of a pig month and the start of wood energy. So to this month, from today until December the 7th, it's stage 1 for wood. So your wood has just become timely. Beyonce has a root this month. She has a base. She's connected in time. So she has a change going on from today. Actually, it's quite an interesting time that we have now, because yesterday we had the start of winter, which is one of the 8 high energy points of the year. So that's a perfect day to try and get some insight into what's going to happen over the next few months. Today, we have the start of the wood energy, stage 1. And wood can mean planning, expanding, strategies. So tonight's meeting was all about planning for the future. What's going to happen? How are you going to be affected? So have you got your 4 pillar charts? Ba's eye charts, Ba's charts. And I should say something about Chinese language is that it's varied. There's over 500 different dialects in China, so there isn't a bad way of saying anything. Probably from the English perspective, we call Feng Shui, Feng Shui. So that I haven't come across a villager that said that, but all the written language is the same. So that kind of keeps this keeps everything running. So I like a bit of interaction rather than just talking to you all the time. So if you've got any questions, if there's anything you don't understand, let's have a two-way conversation here. Who would like to go first?
Hi, can I go first? I'm trying to download the chart.
Yeah.
I do with the, I'm not very technical. I can see the link. So what do I do?
Well, you should be able to click on the link.
Oh, click on it and okay.
Yeah, and then actually, sorry, no, it's not a download. You put your information in there and then just print the screen off.
Mm. I'll see.
So no one gets to keep your information. Your information is just on the screen. This is one I prepared earlier. So this is the page you go to with the link. And you just put in your year, your month, your day, your hour, minutes if you have. Genders are really important because that tells us when the luck pillars start. And this is where your 4 pillars of destiny horoscope comes up, which you can print a screen for.
Well, Alan, I was going to say, it might be easier if anyone was brave enough or willing to share anyone's date of birth or their own date of birth, and we can see it in live. Actually, it might actually be easier for everyone.
Exactly. So who would like to go first? Yeah, okay. Marlin?
Marlin, yeah.
Marlin, hi.
1706, 60.
60. Do you know what time you were born?
10:40 p.m.
Okay, so here's your chart, Marlin. That's your chart, Marlin. If you want to take a snap for it, I look at the flow. You've got metal going to water, and then you've got a change around the age of 30 where you went to fire, and then fire to earth. And when you get to 60 plus, you're going back to metal and water. So that all works well. It's just round about the age of 30, there was a major change in life. And you could have benefited from the wood element at that time. So if you lived near a wood, that would have helped you. It would have helped the transition. It wouldn't have been such a change because you've gone from water, which is water can be very deep, very bubbly, and then suddenly you're in the highlight with a fire. So you go from one extreme to another. That's a major transition. So wood would have helped you to build to that. You don't have a rooster in your chart. You do have a pig, 2 rats, and your horse. So there's a bit of a clash between your personal life and your business life, between the rat and the horse and the yang water and the yang fire. So wood is going to be really good for you. So I can see why you come here tonight, Marlin, because we're talking about wood planning. So a good thing for your life would be to plan ahead. That would avoid a lot of clashes that's going on. Currently, this year, you've also got another clash with the water tiger. So that's been going on since I started on February the 4th and goes through till next February. And the stem would have been in the first half of the year mostly. So from February to August, that would have been perhaps a difficult time for you. But, you know, it's change, it's evolution. So we go through these clashes. So we evolve the other side, all the better for it, with the experience and a different perspective on life. So that's what you had this year. So anybody else with a good connection that wants to have a look?
Yeah.
Actually, I was just going to say, Marlin, just in terms of getting this wood energy and tying this into what we discussed, I'll come back to you in a second. What we're discussing tonight, this would be a good example where you've got these clashes going on. How do we balance it? So we're looking for wood energy. You have a pig and you have a rat. I'm looking for a combination. This is your 10-year luck pillar that we've got here. There's your current one, which is another rat. So loads of water. So you would benefit from wood. How do you get wood in your space? If we were designing interiors for you, we'd be using the wood element. So lots of wood around, paneling, different specific parts of your house. So if we go on to the next slide, which is here, knowing that you need wood, this is an example of a house. And this is what we call the 24 mountain ring. So we find wood on this side. This is yin wood. That's the rabbit, which we're going to have next year. So all the energy is going to be pulled in this direction next year. And this is yang wood. So the best support for you would be either the rabbit or yin wood. So spending time in the eastern part of your house. That's going to help balance your chi.
Brilliant. Excellent. I hope, Marlene, that was helpful. Anna, if you're there, Anna put something in the
Hi.
chat. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, hi, Alan.
Hi, Anna.
This is very interesting. Are you going to do another chart, or can I?
If you want, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's what I'm here for.
it's fascinating. 6th August 1969.
August 1969, yeah.
1320.
Okay, I'll just drag this over here for a moment. Where were you born?
Palmerston North, New Zealand.
Okay.
Southern Hemisphere.
Right. So do you have daylight saving?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So I'll add that in. Well, that's different then, isn't it? Because you've got earth, metal, water. Yeah, lovely. You've been here before.
That's different again. Is this a different, because I've done some Buzzy charts and I've always been said I was water for my day.
You are
which
water.
I don't know if.
Yeah. Water.
Oh,
earth.
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but I haven't seen a dragon. That's interesting. A horse. Those are different.
So, what is this? This is your time, right?
1320, not 1329. Does that make a difference? The hour born.
No, it won't make a difference. We use double hours.
So Western European time you've got there, is it? No?
You take an hour off for summertime, right? So don't put it into the horse hour. 120.
I've never seen my chart come up. Yeah, I've
sheep,
come up with the
goat.
That's a different. That's interesting. Maybe I've always done the charts wrong then.
Okay, well, they're great. So you've already learned something.
Wow.
So if you don't click this box here, you'll get a goat. Yeah.
Correct, and that's how actually I've had a professional chart done before by someone in Australia, and I've come up with the Earth goat for my hour.
So this is a clash here between the goat and the ox, but actually you need to add summertime. So we use
that's
local
interesting.
time.
Wow. Oh gosh. Okay, that's quite different.
It's very different. You don't have a clash anymore. So any stomach pain should have gone. Just this moment disappeared.
Yeah. But I'm a yang. So I'm a yin water. But okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So yin water.
No,
so
that's
you
the
tend
same.
to your emotions control your mind. So you take so much, and then so what you need to do is to balance that, and that's very easy to balance. That's metal, which you've got here, which nice chi flow, earth, metal, water. So we'll be looking to put metal into your space. You've got rooster down here. Now the roosters are going to go through change next year. Yeah, because next year is going to be a rabbit.
Yeah.
So that means that
They
all
clash,
the energy that
don't
you
they?
should have had, the rabbit stole it.
Right.
Okay, so all the energy is not going to be in the west for the rooster. It's going to be in the east for the rabbit.
Right.
I don't know if you know, but the annual sign, the animal sign, points to Jupiter, which is the biggest planet in our solar system, and it pulls all the Sheng Qi in that particular direction, which leaves nothing in the opposite direction, which is where the rooster is.
Right. That feels right.
Right, but knowing this beforehand, before we did a consultation, we've been looking to implement change for you. So what's going to make the transition easy? You need metal next year, and
Metal,
to balance it. Well, actually, not next year. You're always going to need metal. Yeah, because what your chi is doing is it's coming down here. It's being controlled between 45 and 60. But actually, this is this is what we call a combination, a stem combination. Yeah, yang earth and yin water is one of they combine. They can combine. But there can't be any water in the chart. That's a possibility. Did you know you had a possibility of a combination in your chart?
No.
'Cause
'Cause
that
I've
could change
looked-
you to a yin fire person,
Interesting. I think I was more
isn't
yin
it?
fire when I was younger.
So you like fire, you're drawn
Love
to it.
fire
Performance,
elements.
art, design.
Not performance, but design, more interior and renovation.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
Homes,
fire.
houses.
That's more fire than water.
Yeah.
So it's a bit too advanced to do here.
Yeah, I'd like to get you to do a chart. Actually, that's interesting. What does the life column on the left?
So this is your quality of life. If these elements are favorable for you, you have a good life. So if you were water, this would have been a very would have been a powerful life. Well known. Do you have a following?
No.
Okay. So
Should I?
what you'd have then? So if this changes to fire, that means this is output. This then becomes this life panel. Then becomes your creativity.
Right.
So that would make you extremely creative. And the more creative you are, the more fulfilled you become.
Right. Fascinating.
So it is
Thank you.
fascinating. And it's just, from a simple chart.
Yeah.
So
thank
you missed a bit when we were talking about the stems being the electricity coming to the earth at the time of your
Right.
birth, and the branches represent the magnetism. So in fact, what you have here is your electromagnetic field
Mm.
and how it fluctuates over time and space. So we look at that with this year, for instance, being a water tiger.
Yeah.
So the water, if you were in water, this I say if you were, because there's a chance that you could change into fire because of the combination with the earth that you've got here.
Could you fluctuate then? Because that's how I feel. Because the water, I feel like it is those two elements. I can fluctuate
Right.
between the fire output and the introverted water.
Yeah, the earth is in the chart all the time, so there shouldn't be any fluctuation.
Right,
But I
okay.
guess what you'd have is like for instance, so Christmas time, December, is that a good month for you or not?
It's festive. I suppose it's busy. It's summer here, so it's always summer's good.
Sure. Do you make lots of money in December?
I suppose it's a wind up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe you're water then. I'd have to look into it, and it's not something I can do here.
Okay, maybe we'll do that later. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Contact you after this. Thank you. It's
All right,
interesting.
no problem.
Thanks.
Anybody else? So obviously, I don't know what chance we're going to get. I've prepared a couple of charts for tonight just to see where we should. Just if we've got some kind of parameters to work to, and just seeing where we go from there.
Yeah.
Anybody
Hi,
else? Say again?
yeah. Hi, it's Helen Licorice. I'd be happy to give my date and look at my chart, if that's
All
okay.
right, Helen, what you got?
Okay, so it's the 13th of April, 1964.
Okay. Do you know what time you were born?
Well, I don't know how accurate it is. I think about 5 p.m.
Okay, see, 5 is a cusp,
Yes.
so that could be.
I honestly
Wow.
don't know which side of 5 p.m. it is.
No, sure. Do you like? Do you keep chickens?
No, I don't, but it's on my mind.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's 5+.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise you'd be living near a zoo and you love monkeys. So
Okay.
you're a playful spirit.
Right. Oh, well, I'd
So-
rather have a monkey than a chicken.
You'd rather have a monkey than chicken.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now you put us back. So, so 13th of April, 1964, time 5 o'clock. That's going to give us well, if it's 5 o'clock, it's going to give us a monkey. But we should take a year off. Not a year off, daylight saving. Born in May, so that's actually
No, April the 13th.
yeah. Sorry, I've got April written there and 13th.
right.
You're right.
Yeah.
I was just looking at something else. So actually, you're going to take a year off, a month, an hour off. Then it's going to make a monkey. So there's your chart. So what we're looking at is this is a character building life. So you've gone from wood to earth. That's a kind of cycle. Then you got from earth to water, and then from water to earth again.
Okay.
So we can also look along the pillar, so here we've got wood and earth. Here we've got earth and earth, so that's very strong. That's what we call strong roots.
Mhm.
Water down here, you have 3 dragons.
Mm.
So that makes you, yeah, a water person. So strong ambitions, great output, being of service to humanity.
Mhm.
There's resources coming here from children, siblings. Very ambitious, a lot of pressure in your life. So actually what we need to do for you is huge amount of pressure. Most of your chart is earth. Can you see
Right.
all that? 3 dragons, 2 earth stems,
Yeah.
and your water.
So
So that's
the pressure is
intense.
related to earth, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So you're a manager, right?
I have been, yes. Yeah.
Okay, or you're an accountant,
No.
you work in the services.
No, I have 2 sides to me. It's kind of interior designer and the Feng Shui, and
Right.
I'm also a therapist, sort of
Okay.
counselor coach.
Well, which coach?
Counselor and coach.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the mind, for instance, represents metal. And that's the conduit that balances everything for you. So working mentally with people,
Yeah.
using your mind and unlocking other people's minds through counseling is your way to success, which
Okay.
obviously you found.
Yes, sure.
And that's what takes the pressure off
Okay.
and makes you fulfilled.
Got you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Really.
so in terms of interior design, we've been looking to put metal into your space. And if we look at where metal is most, I mean, you've got, what would be nice if we could find a combination, but you've got all your eggs in one basket because you've got 3 dragons and 1 monkey. But actually the rats, now that's interesting because the rat is water and the rat unifies the monkey and the dragon. It creates what we call a trine, a triple combination. So this is a good example because the rat is found here in due north of your house.
Right.
Okay, and that goes
Yep.
from 352.5 to 7.5 degrees, measured from the center. As you can see, my radius here extends out from the center.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a huge transformation for you if you were to spend time in this north part of your house. That would link, that would unify your whole chart and get rid of pressure instantly.
Wow.
It's a life-changing thing.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, really.
Really, really interesting. Yeah.
Stand there for 10 minutes and see how great you feel.
I'll try that after this. Thank you.
So I mean, obviously it's got to be practical, and but it emanates from the center. So anywhere along this line here would have a huge effect on you. This is where you should have your office.
Really,
time
really
there.
useful. Thank you.
No, it's transformational. It would have the most effect on you. You just take all the pressure off instantly.
Okay.
And actually, when you're feeling like you're really under pressure, go and spend 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
And you'll find clarity will come. And
Yeah.
independence.
Lovely.
Let me know how you get on.
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, brilliant. I will be trying that out. Thanks a lot.
Good. All right, great.
Cool.
Anybody else?
Hi, Alan. Can I go for it, please?
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Swananda.
Oh, Swananda, yes.
Hi. So my birthday is 13th of October.
Okay, I don't have to change the 13 number then. That's good. Actually, I should go through all the ones that were born on the 13th and October now. So anyone else born on 13th October, put your name down. What year, Swananda?
1983.
83.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Do you know what time you were born?
It's afternoon 3, so I'm again
Us.
in the middle. I'm not sure before
When
or
were you
after.
born?
I was born in India.
Sure. You don't have daylight saving in India, do you?
No, we don't have, no.
No, then that's fine. So it'd be 3 o'clock is the cusp.
Yeah.
So we got the 13th of October, 1983, 3 o'clock. Female. So wood, chi flow. Yeah, we got water to wood to metal. So this is a clash around about the age of 45. You've got 2 dogs here. This represents your emotions. This represents your mother. This your father. So you must be the apple of your father's eye, devoted to you. This is the water supporting the wood. But this love is not terribly constructive. It's kind of almost smothering. So it's like, you know, I just want to love you. I just want to give you things rather than spend time with you.
You're
That's
talking
what
about father or mother?
Father. So mother is mother. She does her thing. Yeah, she's your mother. There's I'd like to say there's a close bond there, but it's more of a duty. So and your parents have an interesting relationship, looking at your chart here. So it must be exciting in your house, and you're wood, so yeah, that's great. So you'd love this adventure. You tend to suppress your emotions, so you've got the wood controlling the earth. And to go from wood to earth, you'd think we'd put in fire, but that would just make you more emotional. What we need to do is go the other way around and put in the missing elements between earth and wood. So that's going to be metal and water. So we've got metal here, which represents his siblings or his children, and we've got water here. So spending time out in public is good for you. It's where you get your roots from. You really love being in the public eye, being with friends out in webinars for the first time.
Well, I'm a performer. I've always been in the public eye. So yeah, what you're saying is right.
There you go. There you
Yes.
go. Thank you for saying. I know we had that meeting earlier. Well, we said we rehearsed this. No.
But are you saying that from the ear pillar?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, pillar. So you got water to wood, yeah? Yin water, yang water, that's fine. Still flows. And then the water flows to the wood, but then the wood comes to the metal. So that's a change. But it's quite a constructive change because this is yin metal. This represents power. So maybe you go from are you a dancer? Singer?
I'm a singer. I'm a
Singer,
singer.
yeah, that's what yang wood represents.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a metal. I always thought it was a metal which represents
The
singing.
voice is metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yang wood is a good. The yang wood people can sing. Elvis Presley was a yang wood person. So yeah. So that's good. So to balance your emotions, we need to go from well, actually, yeah, your emotions are probably part of your performance. Yeah, but you can make them work for you by going to metal and water. So yeah, and your luck pillar currently is just about to change. Oh, it has changed. So it changed this year on the 24th of March. So there's your performance. That, you know, this is quite an interesting time for you.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, since
Lot
that
of
time.
change.
So actually what you've got is you've got the beginning of a fire trine, which represents your performance. So first of all, you've got the fire here, which represents all the things that you've always worked for. It represents your output. Rather than being a struggle, it's now finally paying off. So things are working out your way. You've also got on top of that, the tiger here, which is the beginning of a fire combination. And you've got the 2 dogs here, which is the end of a fire combination. So what you need to do is find the middle part, and then you unite everything. Okay, so the opposite of Helen, you want to be in the south, in this place here, what we call, well, it's 1 172.5 to 187.5 when you measured from the center. So that represents the horse part. Yeah, mid-south. And what that does is it will connect all of this. It will connect the tiger and the dog together with the horse to make incredible output and hopefully success. The trouble is, because you've got two dogs here, people will be jealous of you. They're thinking you're using some kind of magic. But that would be a very potent part for you. And certainly to decorate your house. So you've got wood down here. You could do with more wood. This year is a tiger year. That gives you a firm root. Next year is a rabbit. The year after that is going to be a dragon. So you've got a strong root for the next couple of years. So water is going to be good for you. Yeah, and you've got quite a lot of water in your chart. So you're okay. And this year is also water. And next year too. So yeah, you're in a good place.
Thank you. Can I ask you one more question? You were talking about 8 points in the year today. So you said something about the energy starting from today,
Yes.
or something about, I mean, I know it's a big month that is starting, but let's talk about something about 8 points. Can you tell us more about that?
8 points.
I think
8 characters.
the 12 phases maybe you're referring to.
Ellen,
Say
I think we're talking about the 12 stages.
Oh, 12 stages. Oh, okay. Right. So wood is born in November, and that's stage 1. So if you write down the whole calendars for the year, you'll see that December is going to be stage 2, January stage 3, so on and so forth. And you were born in October, which is stage 12. So that is very weak. And actually, you would have an extraordinary life. So you would follow what we call follow money.
What's that?
That means that you want to go for the biggest possible bill, royalty you could.
Okay. You mean,
Not this year or next year. It really is. It has to be timely. But because you've only got one link down here, you need a bit more than that. And because you're so untimely, so it's not a judgment thing. It's just your
no,
life.
of course, I'm open-minded. Don't worry. Yeah.
Sure. So actually, I should explain that there's 60 different variants on each pillar. So you have 60 to the power of 4. That's the whole 4 pillars, which gives us nearly 13 million different variations. So there's never a bad chart. It's perfect for what you need to do. It's never a case of judgment. So you have an extraordinary life. So it's a bit advanced for what we're doing here. But maybe if we do another one, we can have it on then. Or you're welcome to come to the school.
I'm
So
enjoying this as
anybody
well.
else?
Thanks.
Ellen, I just have a question about living an extraordinary life. Does that mean you don't have any representative elements in your earthly stems compared to what is in your heavenly branches?
It's heavenly stems and earthly branches.
Okay, vice versa.
No, so basically, if you've got an extraordinary life, there's always a payback. So you at some point you're going to have a normal life, and that's when your life goes back to normal, and you're used to living on the fast lane. So it sometimes it uproots those clients that have to shift from one part of life that they understand to something that they can't understand what's going on. They can't see why their luck has suddenly changed. And it's basically because they've got a root in time. So Swananda is a perfect example of this, because Swananda would have an extraordinary life, but this year is a tiger year, and a tiger gives her a major root. Tiger is wood. It roots this yang wood. So she has to deal with it. but yeah, it's not that bad anyway. She's got support here. These dogs, 2 dogs here, represent the opportunity to make money. For wood person, if you have a look on the previous chart, the attribute cycle, the earth for a wood person represents wealth. So this is not as extreme as you can have. So some of the Beyonce, for instance, she's also got an extraordinary life that flips, and as well as clashes and 2. So that's quite an interesting chart to do. So does that answer your question, Andrew?
I think so.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Hey.
Have you got time to do one more?
Yeah,
I've
sure.
got time, but yes, Annette. Yeah.
Do I, Victoria?
Yes, of course. We'll do
Okay.
one last one. Yeah.
What have you got?
Excellent. Is that me? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got way too much wood in my chart,
Okay.
and I need more metal. I know
Yeah.
that much, and fire earth. So it'd be really interesting to see your professional opinion, what you think. But my birth
Okay.
date is the 16th of February,
Yeah.
1967.
Do you know what time you were born?
I don't. My mother passed when I was very young.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. We could find out what time that would be if we just compare your to see when you had bad years, because that would probably correspond to a clash, maybe. So if we did 12 different charts, we'd be able to find out what hour you were born.
Oh.
So I got the 16th of February, 1963.
67.
67, sorry. There we go. Okay, so you have, we don't have your hour. So that makes you a metal pig. Is that right? Pig doesn't have the same connotation as in Chinese astrology as it does in the West. So the pig is associated with wisdom. And for you, it represents expression. And it balances with the wood. So yeah, wood is the strongest part of your chart, being born in February, but it's void, which means it doesn't function as well as it should do. And that has quite an impact on your life, which I won't go into here because it can be quite personal. This goat probably has the ability to cancel this void. But this represents the relationship with your mother. And when it's void, it means that it doesn't function as it should do. However, because the goat is here, that can maybe cure this. You've got, you will have a lot of wood next year. You've got the goat and the pig will combine next year to make with the rabbit. And that's going to make a wood trine, which for you represents wealth.
Great.
So
thank you.
Next year, you have a good opportunity to make a lot of money.
This is next year.
Is next year, yeah.
Oh, good. I'll say, yeah. Well, that's interesting. I've got some plans, so that's good.
Good. So your chi. See, without your hour, we can't tell your chi flow, but we can see a disruption. Actually, this is a combination. I think you might have saw the combination that we looked at earlier. There's another one here between the yang water and the yin fire, and that makes wood. So that could be the more wood around you. That would change these 2 to wood. Have you had a chart done before? Have you done your chart?
Yeah, I did one online, but you don't know how accurate it is, do you really? I am looking into it actually at the moment.
Right. Because, no, actually, so in order for that to transform into wood, there can't be any metal in the chart. Your day stem is metal. So that won't allow that to happen. So you don't have as much wood as you thought you did, but you will have next year because you're going to have this combination between the goat, next year's rabbit, and the pig, which is going to increase the wood element. And that represents easy money, or the opportunity to make a lot of money easily.
Good. So, but what I've read, which is very limited, because it's very hidden subject. There's not a lot of information really on it. That I've read lots about it that's available. So that's why I'm here. I'm just very curious about it.
Yeah.
But what I can establish, what I've read, is because I'm metal, I can. I mean, this year is really bad for me. I've recently discovered I'm a goat. My front door, the Tarsu, is in the northeast, which is opposite to me, which is obviously the ox. So that's not, created a very good. I mean, I do my Feng Shui, monthly stars, but I've been held back, and I didn't know quite why, because I was doing everything correctly.
Yeah.
And then I read about this a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, that's it. So I've just got to look after that area, the front door, and of course we've got the 5-star there this month. So yeah, but it's a good month for me generally as a goat. So cross fingers.
Well, okay, but actually, you don't have a root there either.
Okay.
So
Is that because I haven't got a time?
No, it's not because you don't have any yin metal. You don't have any metal at all, yin or yang, down here in these bottom lines here.
Oh, there. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So you would do at certain points of the year. So August, for instance, August is a very grounding. August, September is a very grounding month for you. September should be a prosperous month. And the ox actually can be a source of prosperity for you. I know it clashes with your goats that you've got 2 of, but it's not all doom and gloom. The ox, it's got yin metal inside it, but I can't. If I went back to ox here, the ox, you see, it's got yin metal here,
Yeah.
and that's the source of prosperity for you. So it's not as bad. So you've got quite an interesting chart. It's not as straightforward as it appears to be.
No. I've can you recommend anywhere to get a reading done?
Yeah, any one of my students could do it for you. I do professional readings.
Yeah, well, I can't afford big bucks this week.
If you go to the Feng Shui Society, it'll tell you a lot about this. Sorry, the Feng Shui Institute.
Okay.
There's lots of free stuff on there. Will tell you all about this.
Okay, lovely.
Okay.
Thank you ever so much.
You're welcome. All right, I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. It's been really, really amazing. So fascinating, actually. And it's been really useful to have the charts up and seeing these in kind of live. I am conscious of time, but
Yes.
Before we leave, can you kindly talk a little bit about your school and what you offer? And perhaps if Alison or yourself can put your details in the link again so people can access it.
Sure. So you can get us from basically the school started 25 years ago from the results that my clients were getting. They I wouldn't say forced, but it put a lot of pressure on me to teach them how to get the results that I was getting at that time, and that's how the school started. So that was some time ago. I never thought I could teach. It just, I never even crossed my mind. But this, just showing you here. So school's been running for 25 years. We've got students in 90 countries around the world. This is our school. As I mentioned last time, I did talk for the society. It was about 20 years ago in Baker Street. But this is our, that's our homepage. So it's where we've got all the courses. We do professional courses. It takes 2 years to train. I teach you the basics right through to those 4 pillars. We also do Qi Mun Dunjia, Ziwei Dao Shu, loads of videos. We've just done a new key concepts course on video, which is going very well. I also have a professional consultation business. I work all over the world. I'm currently working on a city expansion in Asia. So this is my site, consultation site. fengshuithatworks.co.uk. The Feng Shui School is fengshuischool.com. I do online consultations as well as business consultations, designing logos, corporate ID, how to lay out the office, how to find the office, how to build it, all of that, property development. Yeah, I haven't come across anything that we couldn't do. So it's been fun. It's fantastic to help people. I'm talking about quality of life.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alan. And I think Alison's put the links to your website in the chat so everyone can access it. It's been really, really fascinating. Bardet's 4 Pillars of Destiny is just really quite mind-blowing. And when you know how to read it, you can really kind of prepare for your months ahead, your years ahead, many, many years ahead. And I think, Alan, you described it so well, the ability to create a harmonious home using your 4 Pillars of Destiny is quite magical, really. It's quite an art. Thank you so much, everyone.
It's a pleasure.
This evening. I'll have the recording available. I will send you your recording, Alan, so you may want to circulate as well as you wish.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you all.
I'll stay
Okay.
on my line a bit.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.